Today, we're going to look at 10 really subtle habits of people with exceptionally high intelligence. Now, this isn't about the usual stereotypes you might hear. It's more about the real patterns that show up when a mind is just, well, wired to see the world in a completely different way.
Habit number 1 is a preference for silence over small talk. And look, this isn't about being rude or antisocial, not at all. It's just that for a really active mind, small talk can feel like it's draining your battery, you know? It's like a waste of precious mental energy. Silence, on the other hand, that's an open space for real thinking, for actually processing things.
Habit number 2, enjoying solitude without actually feeling lonely. You know, a lot of highly intelligent people find real comfort, genuine comfort in being alone. It's because their inner world is just so rich, so engaging, that being by themselves isn't an empty space that needs to be filled. It's a whole world just waiting to be explored. Next up, habit number 3, thinking deeply before acting. Now, on the outside, this can sometimes look like hesitation, right? But it's often a sign of some really intense internal processing going on. While other people just see a pause, this kind of mind is busy playing chess. It's analyzing all the variables, the possible outcomes, and the long-term consequences of every move. And that leads us perfectly into habit number 4, getting bored with shallow conversations. It makes sense, right? If your mind is constantly searching for new information, for complex patterns, it's naturally going to get restless with chit-chat that just circles around on the surface. It's really a hunger for depth, not some kind of judgment on other people. Habit number 5, overthinking simple decisions. You know, something that seems so straightforward, like coffee or tea. For some, that can trigger this whole complex chain of thought. Okay, what are the caffeine effects? How's this going to impact my sleep later? What's the context of this meeting? It's not really indecisiveness. It's more of an unconscious habit of just being incredibly thorough. All right, habit number 6 is talking less and observing more. See, being quiet in this case is often a really active strategy. Instead of just jumping into the conversation, they're absorbing data. They're watching body language, listening for what's not being said, and just processing the whole dynamic of the room. They're gathering information, they're not just checked out. Moving on to habit number 7, questioning the obvious rules. Now, this isn't about being a rebel just for the sake of it, not at all. It's that a highly intelligent mind needs to understand the why behind a rule. If a system just doesn't seem logical or efficient, their very first instinct is to question it, to dig deeper and find the principle behind it. Next up, we have habit number 8, learning things independently. A lot of people with this mindset find they learn best not by following some rigid curriculum, but by taking a topic apart, deconstructing it on their own terms. They follow their own curiosity to build a real foundational understanding, literally from the ground up. Okay, habit number 9, having unusual sleep or work patterns. I think a lot of people can relate to this. When your mind just doesn't switch off easily, a typical 9 to 5 can feel incredibly restrictive. It's those quiet hours, late at night or super early in the morning. They're free of distractions. And that's when the intense focus and real creativity can happen. And that brings us to our final habit, number 10, feeling misunderstood. And honestly, this can be the most challenging part of all. When your own internal experience is so complex, so nuanced, trying to translate that for other people is just incredibly difficult. It can lead to this persistent nagging feeling of being fundamentally misunderstood. So when you look back at this whole list, it becomes pretty clear, right? These aren't just a bunch of random quirks. They're more like the signature, the external signs of a different kind of internal operating system. One that's just built to prioritize depth and logic and efficiency, often over social norms. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. A big question, really. Are these habits the cause of a high IQ, or are they just its most common symptoms? Chicken or the egg? Do these behaviors build a powerful intellect, or does a powerful intellect just naturally lead to these behaviors? It's a really fascinating question about the very nature of how we all think.